Good morning. In the previous sessions, we are discussing some properties of real numbers. That is, we have discussed about a property on positive integers. That is what we have discussed about Euclid's-Diph's lemma. Now, today we'll discuss about one more property of positive integers, which is a subset of real numbers. Okay, so that is what we do it. And before we get into that property, so what we are trying to do, what I'll try to do is I'll try to recall some of the terminologies that you have learned in your lower classes to fix once for all. Okay, so let me start with that. Suppose you have a number 14. Now tell me what are the numbers that divides 14. The numbers that divides 14. May I say 1 divides 14? Now here divides in the sense I am speaking about numbers which divides 14 exactly. So 1 divides 14, 2 divides 14, yes, 7 divides 14 and 14 divides 14. This means that these numbers divides 14 exactly. Therefore, we call these numbers as factors or divisors. So factors or divisors are those numbers which divides the given number exactly. So 1, 2, 7, 14 divides 14 exactly. Therefore, we call all these numbers as factors or divisors. So that is the first terminology to go about. Next, basing on these factors, I will try to classify numbers. I'll take a few numbers like say 1, say some 4, some 19, say some 25, say some 23, say some 8. Now let me list out all the factors for these numbers. Okay. So for 1, what is the factor? The number which divides 1 is 1 itself. So this is 1. Next, 25. What are the factors for 25? That is the numbers which divides 25. 1, 5 divides 25, and 25 divides 25. Next, 4. What are the numbers that divides 4? 1, 2, 4. Then what are the numbers that divides 8? 1, 2, 4, 8. So those are the factors for 8. Now what are the factors for 19? 1 divides 19. Then 19 divides 19. Yes. So there are no other factors except 1 and 19. Like the same 1 and 23. Yes. So these are the list of factors for each of the numbers which I have written. Now look into this. For 1 you have only one factor. Now let us consider these set of numbers as a separate case and look into that. 19. 19 has got only two factors, 1 and 19. 23 has got only two factors, 1 and 23. Now those numbers which have got only two factors, we call them as prime numbers. That is prime numbers. That is any number greater than 1 which has got 1 and itself as the factors, we call those numbers as prime numbers. I repeat it again. Any number which is greater than 1 and which has 1 and itself as factors, we call those numbers as prime numbers. And the numbers which are not prime numbers, we call them as composite numbers. That is, a number which is greater than 1 and not a prime number, we call those numbers as composite numbers, which means that these are your composite numbers. And one is neither prime nor composite. So it is neither prime nor composite. Now these are not prime numbers. The prime number says that the numbers which divides the given number are 1 and itself. Now if you see 25 is divisible by 1, it is divisible by 25 and it is also divisible by 5. Therefore it does not come under this category, because prime numbers, the numbers which divides them are only 1 and itself. But here there is an extra number called 5. Here there is an extra number 2. Here there is extra numbers 2 and 4. Therefore these are not called your prime numbers. So prime numbers are numbers greater than 1 which has 1 and itself as factors. and the numbers greater than 1 and not prime numbers, we call them as composite numbers, which means that the definition consequently says that, or consequently gives you that composite numbers have more than 2 factors, whereas prime numbers have got only 2 factors. So that is what logically we can conclude. Prime numbers has got only 2 factors, which are 1 and itself, whereas composite numbers have got more than 2 factors. If it is only 1 factor, that number is neither prime nor composite, so which is 1. If a number has got 2 factors, then those numbers are your prime numbers. If the numbers have got more than 2 factors, we call them as composite numbers. So this is all about it. Now I will be running through composite numbers and prime numbers clubbed together. Okay. In your lower classes, you might have studied about prime factorization. Now, once again, I'll recall the same. But suppose you have a number called 42. Now, how do you do the prime factorization for that number? This is, may I say, 221, sir, 37, sir, and we say that the prime factorization of 42 is 2 into 3 into 7. Yes, the prime factorization of 42 is 2 into 3 into 7. That is the prime factorization for 42. So basically, what do you mean by prime factorization? So prime factorization is basically writing a given number as product of its prime factors. Then what is a prime factor? Prime factor are the factors which are prime numbers, which means that, see, let us list out the factors for 42. What are the factors for 42? 1 divides 42, 42 divides 42, 2 divides 42, 21 divides 42, then 3 divides 42, then 3 ones are 3, 14 divides 42. So these are all the factors of 42. Now out of these factors, 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, and in fact we can also have some 6, and 7 is a prime number. Now the factors 2, 3, 7 are prime numbers, therefore we call them as prime factors. 2, 3, 7 as prime factors of 42. Now here we have written 42 as product of its prime factors. Now such way of writing is called prime factorization. That is, writing a given number as product of its prime factors is called prime factorization. Now let me take one more number, say 100. 100, let's do the prime factorization for 100. So 250, sir, 225, sir, 5, sir. So 100 is equal to, may I write 2 into 2 into 5 into 5. Yes. So, or you can also write this as 2 square into 5 square. Let me take one more number, say some 36. 2 18, sir, 36. 2 9, sir, 18. Say 3, sir. So this 36 is equal to 2 square into 3 square. May I write that way? Okay. So let me examine these numbers closely. Now what is 100? What kind of number is 100? Is it a prime number or a composite number? Composite number? Yes. Why? The reason is 100 has got more than 2 factors. 100, 2 is a factor, 50 is a factor. Simply you can say that is a composite number. Like the same, 36 is also a composite number. So we have written this composite number as product of its prime factors. And here also a composite number is written as product of its prime factors. Let me take one more composite number, say some 48. So do the prime factorization. 224, sir, 212, sir, 26, sir, 23, sir. So which is 48 is equal to 2 power 4 into 3. So again 48 is a composite number and we are able to write it as product of its prime factors. 2 is a prime factor of 42 because 2 is a prime factor of 48. 3 is also a prime factor of 48 and we are able to write 48 as product of its prime factors. So in this way, in fact, every composite number can be written as product of prime factors. That is the conclusion which I can make. Though I have only taken 3 examples, you can extend it for any number of composite numbers, and you can say that given a composite number, you can write it as product of its prime factors. Those prime factors need not be distinct. If you look into this case, or say, let us say 2, 42. 42, what is it? 221, sir. 37, sir. So 42 is 2 into 3 into 7. Now this 42, I have written it as the product of prime factors, and all these prime factors are distinct. That is, they are different. Now coming to this, these prime factors, the prime factors are only 2, but we have taken 2 times and 5 2 times. So prime factors need not be distinct there. The prime factors may get repeated, but the observation that we can make is, given a composite number, you can write it as product of prime factors. Those prime factors may be all different, may be all same. If you look into this case, for example, say 32. So 2 how many times? 216, sir. 2 8, sir. 2 4, sir. 2 2, sir. So this 32 can be written as 2 power 5. Now if you look into this case, here all the prime, in fact, while you are writing 32 as product of its factors, all the prime factors are same, which is 2 itself. That is, 2 power 5 is 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. Here this is a case where the prime factors are not distinct, that is, they are not different. So that is the case. Given a composite number, you can write it as product of prime factors, and the prime factors need not be distinct. This is one case where the prime factors are not distinct. Here this is a case where the prime factors are distinct. Distinct in the sense different. It is not like every time you need to get a same prime factor or different prime factor. The point to be taken here is a composite number can be written as product of prime factors. The prime factors may be different, or the prime factors may be same. So this is what the observation that we can make. Now let me take the same numbers and let me do the prime factorization in a different way. Okay, I'll be doing prime factorization for 100. So again, I am doing the prime factorization for 100. Now what I will do is I will start with 5. Yeah, in the previous case I have started with 2, now I will start with 5. So 5 how many times? 5 2s are 10. Then I can go with 2. 2 10s are 20. I can go with 2 again, 2 5s. So may I write 100 as 5 into 2 into 2 into 5. Yes, that is the prime factorization using this. Next I will go with 36. 36 I will start with 3. 3 12s are 36. I can go with 2. 2 6. I can go with 3. 3 2s. So 36 you can write it as 3 into 2 into 3 into 2. Now 42. I'll go with 3. 3 1s are 3 4s. I can go with 2. 2 7s. So this is 3 into 2 into 7. Okay. Now if you look into this, though I have done the prime factorization for these numbers in a different way, if you have observed the prime factorization of each of these numbers, the prime factors remains constant. See, here the prime factors are 2 and 5. Here also the prime factors are 2 and 5. However, the difference is the order of the prime factors in which they are occurring is different. Here we have occurred 2 2 5 5. In that way, here we come across 5 2 2 5. Except the order of the prime factors, we are getting the same prime factors. Here also, if you look into that, the prime factors are 2 and 3. Here also the prime factors are 2 and 3. But the order in which they are occurring is different. Similarly, here the prime factors are 2 3 7. Here also 3 2 7. The prime factors are same. But the order in which they are existing are different. Therefore, we can say that given a composite number, as we have concluded earlier, you can write that composite number as the product of its prime factors. That is one observation which we have done. Now the second observation is the representation of this prime factor, the representation, in fact I am talking about this now, this representation is unique apart from the order in which the prime factor occurs. That means whatever the way you do the prime factorization, you will always arrive at the same prime factors, but the order of the factors in which they occur might be different. Now this entire observations put together, we call it as fundamental theorem of arithmetic. That is, every composite number you can express as product of its prime factors, and that representation is unique. Unique in the sense we will only have those prime factors. That is the meaning of this representation is unique. That is, you will only have those prime factors apart from the order in which the prime factors occur. That is, there is only a change in the order of the prime factors in which they exist. So that is what we call it as fundamental theorem of arithmetic. I will state it here. So first observation is every composite number can be expressed as product of prime factors. So that is what I am writing. So this is the first observation. Every composite number can be expressed as product of prime factors. That is what we have done at the starting. And this representation is unique. This representation is unique. This representation is unique in the sense we will only get those prime factors. Okay, that is the meaning of this representation is unique apart from the order in which the prime factors occurs. That is, you will get the same prime factors but in a different way. If suppose you are getting 2 into 5 into 2 into 7, then it can be any other order if you do in a different way, but you will always come across the same prime factors. So that is what we call it as fundamental theorem of arithmetic. I state it once again. Every composite number can be expressed as product of prime factors. That is, given a composite number, you can write it as product of prime factors, and this representation is unique. Representation is unique in the sense you will only arrive at the same prime factors whatever the method you adopt. So that is the meaning of representation is unique apart from the order in which the prime factors occur. Apart from the order in which prime factors occur in the sense you may have a change in the order in which the prime factor may occur, but you will have the same prime factors that occurs in the previous case. That is, for a number, if you do a prime factorization, say you have come across 2 into 5 into 3 into 7. If you adopt a different method of prime factorization, you may arrive in a different way, but you will come across the same prime factors in both the cases. So that is the meaning of this part. So that is all about it. In this session, I have posted a worksheet. Now that worksheet contains what is a prime number, what is a composite number, then what else, what is fundamental theorem of arithmetic, next applications of it, how to do a prime factorization. Now I have not stressed much upon doing prime factorization because which you have already learnt in your lower classes, so that is the reason I am not In fact, I have not dealt with in great length regarding how to do prime factorization. I have moved a bit quicker. If you want me to explain, then I'll be explaining how to go about doing prime factorization. If you know it, you can do it, because the problems are also there regarding prime factorization. So that is all about it. So do the worksheet. If you have got any doubts, you can get in touch with my number. Thank you.